I have so much respect for Cody. I have so much respect for Whistling Diesel because it is entertainment that you can't get anywhere else. It is a type of content that hits on it almost circumvents your reason centers in your brain, where it has that ooga booga brain, like, oh, this is expensive thing and he's destroying it, and this is just kind of like it seems like wanton destruction, but it's not. I know for a fact that when the cameras are off, he is like he legitimately cares about the people in his videos. He's trying to make things like, he wants to make them as safe as possible, and he like writes out storylines, and he's very particular about his editing, and is very particular about like how he puts videos out and how he wants to be portrayed. So he is like a really smart guy. I know he's ruffled some feathers because of the type of content that he does, but sometimes, like, listen, if he wants to take a Ferrari F8 and do some donuts in a dry field and then it burns down because, like, whoopsie, then that's just, that's part of his content. He makes money from it, and that's part of his repertoire now.
What are your thoughts on Whistling Diesel getting arrested?
That was so Whistling Diesel getting arrested was pretty clearly somebody wanted to make an example out of him. Mm. There is no reason, or there's no reality in which a state government entity would not just send you a letter. Mm-hmm. Like, they should send you, like, if you're, especially over $30,000, $30,000 over one car, like, it makes no sense to me why they would have like 8 people come onto his property and then arrest him, and they go, what, for tax evasion?
8 people.
Yeah. And like they walked onto his property. They didn't call him. They didn't say, "Hey, we want to give you the ability to turn yourself in." They wanted to make a spectacle out of this. They wanted this to be a thing. I think that somebody high up didn't like him. I think somebody high up got their feathers ruffled, or maybe somebody was calling into the city or the state, or just, somebody was very, very angry, and they were like, how can we get this guy? How can we, make this guy's life, hell? And they didn't know what 10 million people behind one guy looks like. So I really think that I think they screwed up. I think this could have been, it's one of those things that like could have been solved in an email, like it's.
Here's my thought, though. I actually think the opposite of it. I think they were using him as an example to close that Montana LLC loophole. I think that's the only thing they wanted.
Explain the Montana LLC loophole.
Montana does not have sales tax. So when you go and buy a car in, let's just say, California, they charge you a sales tax on the price of the vehicle. You spend $100,000. They charge you a 9% sales at $9,000. So what a lot of people would do is they'll go and buy a $1 million car. And instead of paying $100,000 to the state, they spend $99 on a Montana LLC.
Yep.
They register the car to the Montana LLC. The LLC owns the car, and you don't have to pay the sales tax on it.
Right.
That's tax avoidance. Or tax evasion.
Well, avoidance and evasion is really different. Yeah, avoidance is legal.
Yeah, we'll call
evasion is not.
The state would argue that's tax evasion because you're driving and operating the car in the state.
Correct.
My understanding is that Tennessee really just wanted to see this loophole go away, and they wanted to instill fear in people that if they register their cars in Montana, they could get arrested. And I think Cody played into that perfectly, because now they see his mugshot. He makes a video about it. Everyone knows about it. Mm-hmm. And if you're on the fence about, like, should I start a Montana LLC? Mm-hmm. You're going to think, oh, I don't want to be like Cody. I don't want to get arrested.
Right.
They're cracking down on this. I don't want that to be me.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it. They're going to pay the extra $30,000. So I think if they just sent a letter, Cody would have paid it and no one would know. But this is the best marketing for them to shut down the Montana LLCs. Because even in California, I guarantee people there see Cody and they say, oh, I don't want to mess with that, just in case.
Well, so I see that side of things. However, the amount of money that they would earn from this, I don't know how many hypercar owners there are in Tennessee. I can't imagine that there are a lot. I feel like the people that have the kind of money that can have mobility, and like let's say you have Paganis and Koenigsegg's and they're all registered in Montana, I don't think it's going to be like that big of a game changer. There's not a ton of people with like regular cars that are going to Montana LLCs. This is not something that is scalable. This is like 10 people. Like not like relatively,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
We're talking about a small percentage of people that they could just talk to like individually. They can just say like, you can obviously write a letter to these people and then just say, hey, you owe this much and blah, blah, blah. And then that's it. Like, I think writing a letter or whatever, instead of making this public spectacle, it does them a disservice, because what happens to Cody is Cody is also very resistant to this. So he's now instilling, like if people are already on the fence, they're like, I don't know if I'm going to do this. And Cody's like, they don't have a leg to stand on. Like I'm the worst person to do this to, because I am petty, and I'm going to fight this until I have no more money left. Like I'm going to fight this and make it into this crazy circus. And I don't think they're ready for that. I think if they just wanted money, they could have sent letters to everybody. And it could have sent stern letters and been like, hey, so we know what you're doing, and you could get, we could arrest you. And then that's it.
I think they're just going to offer to settle and say, hey, we're going to drop the case, pay us the $30,000, and we'll go away. That's what I think is probably going to happen. Yeah. Or they're going to say, or we fight this for years, and we're going to use every resource possible. Mm-hmm. And it's a 50-50. If he wants to spend potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars,
but he could do
the
it.
Case.
He could do it because so what YouTube allows you to do is monetize your misery. I mean, this is, if it's an ongoing case, this is a story that people aren't going to let go. The first video that he made on this is just him sitting at a desk, and it got, like 5 million views. So this is something that is clearly profitable for him. He didn't have to,
But the state wants that too. They want more publicity of, look how difficult we're making his life. Don't do this. And I think the more publicity he feeds it, mm-hmm. the more it feeds into what they want, which is just more publicity around not using a Montana LLC.
The issue is that they don't control the narrative, he does. So he can say whatever he wants, and the reason why he has 10 million subscribers, 10 million followers, is because he's really good at influencing opinion, whether it's negative or positive. And there's so many comments on his video saying, "Oh, this is the state of Tennessee durability test." Like, "Oh, we're gonna see where this goes." I think people are ready for that. And I think people want to see that. I don't think this is for most people, for those 10 million subscribers, most of those people aren't owning Ferraris and then they're using some tax loophole to go to Montana. There are also other loopholes that you can use that isn't Montana that are like less well known. But realistically, I don't see that this is like a gigantic issue, and especially not one that the state is willing to expend millions and millions of dollars, because that they would be into that millions and millions of dollars. It's like, so now, like, if they want to make an example out of them, like, now it's going to cost them. Now it's going to cost them time and money, because that costs them money. They have a budget. They don't have unlimited money to do this, but Cody has the ability to essentially make unlimited content from this. He made that tax evasion t-shirt. He made a carbon fiber cowboy hat that one of my friends made. And, those were going for $2,600, and those sold out. Like, it is crazy that, you're trying to not necessarily extort, but you're trying to get money out of this guy who otherwise would have just paid the money. Like, I guarantee you, if they went to Cody and said, "Hey, this is an issue," or whatever.
But again, I don't think that's their goal. I don't think their goal is money. I think it's to make an example.
Either way, it may have been a misstep, because he's just going to fight it. He'll have unlimited money, and he'll be able to set the narrative.
I think they were hoping he would make content. I think it's just to dissuade people.
But I think he will be able to set the narrative. That's the only thing. He's got a 10 million.
The narrative, I think, is already set. Even if he wins, people just think, I don't want to go up against that. I don't want to do the same thing.
I think the ROI doesn't make any sense for the state. The ROI does not make any sense for the state. And I think they miscalculated.
Maybe
they have no idea how to.
Maybe they are working with other states, though.
Yeah, but anyways, that's just what I think.
Now, by the way, quick thanks to our sponsor, CyberGhost VPN, for sponsoring this video.
CyberGhost is one of the most trusted VPNs out there with over 38 million users worldwide and over 20,000 strong reviews on Trustpilot.
Using a VPN is one of the simplest ways to protect your online privacy. Like, a lot more eyes are watching your online activity than you think.
And of course, even incognito mode does not stop it. Your internet provider, your work or school network, and even your home Wi-Fi router can still track what you're doing.
CyberGhost helps by encrypting your online data and running it through their secure servers. You just pick from over 100 locations before you browse.
It also lets you access geo-restricted games and content from over 40 streaming platforms, including Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney+. And here's a little special sauce I'll sprinkle on top. Changing your location can actually help you find better deals online.
CyberGhost works on all major devices like Mac, Apple, iOS, and Android, and you could protect up to 7 devices at the same time.
And guys, if you're thinking about it, using our link in the description gets you their absolute best deal at $2.03 per month, plus 4 months for free, which is 84% off.
They also offer a 45-day money-back guarantee, so it's risk-free to try it out. We like it enough to recommend it to all of you watching.
Once again, the link is down below in the description. Thank you so much to CyberGhost for sponsoring this episode.